episode 18. This episode is titled The $700 Million Deal. So based off the title, you can guess what we're going to talk about. If you've been relevant to sports today, this is Tyler's Talking Sports. I myself, Tyler Castle, my co-host, brother, Tyler Hess on the other side of the mic. What we do here is we talk about sports. This is episode 18. It is 12/10/2023. So if you're listening to this, it's 12/11/2023. Good morning. Happy Monday. Don't work too hard. This will be live at 6 a.m. So if you're on your way to work, be careful. If you're in the Southwest region, they're calling for a pretty chilly morning tomorrow. So make sure you bundle up and have a good work day. So hopefully we can start your work week off with talking about sports.
And hey, before we go any farther, if you are from our area and you have kids in school, you're already on a 2-hour delay. So,
Russell County?
Yeah, be sure you
2-hour delay. Wow.
Yep.
Wow, did not know that.
So if you're getting your kids on the school bus in the morning, get them off of it because it ain't coming for 2 hours.
Not for 2 hours.
That's right.
I like it. Hess,
right.
Would you like to go over our sponsors for today's episode?
Heck yeah, man. I'd like to talk about, I've talked about in previous episodes, but Isaiah 117 House. They reached out to us and wanted us to shout out their auction they got going on. Tons of sports memorabilia. We're talking autographed jerseys, autographed cards, helmets, you name it. I've seen Tom Brady stuff in there. I've seen a bunch of good rookie baseball cards, a lot of money for some of that stuff, but it goes to a great cause. It's a great ministry. It's a great nonprofit. Reach out, look into Isaiah 117 House. They got great, they got a store on there. You can buy their products. I'm actually wearing one of their hats right now if you're watching the video. But anything that you do, if you go for the auction, any money you put toward it goes directly to Isaiah House. So be sure to look into that. All you sports fans out there, I'm telling you, they got everything you want to see as a sports fan. Any team, it's in there. So give them a look, and we appreciate it here at Tyler's Talking Sports.
Yeah, we do. Great organization. Definitely great things that they're doing for the community. Not just this community, but surrounding communities as well. So
I think
shout out to those guys.
They've got 80. I could be wrong, but I think they got like 80 houses, and they go all the way. They got one in Texas. They got some in Indiana, some in Florida. They're not just a local. I mean, they're becoming statewide. They're United States wide here. So it's not just a local organization. It's becoming a big time organization.
That's what you want to see. Definitely
absolutely.
Good organization. Wanted to go to our next sponsor. Also, too, if you've been listening, you know where I'm going with this. It's Next Level Fitness Club here in Lebanon, Virginia. That is a 24/7 gym facility, 24/7 tanning. If you're watching the screen, you can get a good laugh at Hess trying to flex there. It's pretty funny. But yeah, 24/7 tanning, certified personal trainers, classes. You asked for it, they got it. Other than showers, reach out to those guys at 1806 East Main Street, Lebanon, Virginia, 24266, or follow them on their social media apps on Facebook and Instagram at Next Level Fitness Club. And then also, too, they have a website. You can actually pay for your membership. You can check out their facility. You can reach out to them. You can contact their trainers. And that is at www.nextlevelfitnessclub276.com.
Awesome. Love Next Level. Love Isaiah House 117. And while we're on it, guys, please check out our social medias. We're on everything. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. We're on all your major podcasting platforms. You name it. We're on Amazon Music. We're on Apple. We're on, obviously, Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on iHeartRadio. We're also on Sirius XM Radio. So be sure to check that out. Give us a listen. Give us a follow and all that. I'd like to mention our Facebook page. That has absolutely been just blowing up over the last couple of weeks. We've gained roughly 35 to 50 followers, give or take. I could be off on that number over the last week and a half. We've had some videos pop off. We go over, I think, what do you say, 20,000 views total on like 3 videos there?
Well, two videos alone are over 40,000.
Yeah, so there you go. Yeah, over 40,000 views on some videos. I mean, we're popping off on there. We appreciate everybody that's been following us, liking our stuff, commenting. You don't know what just a single comment does, just getting it out there. Because you comment on it, it pops up on your page that you commented, and then maybe there's somebody there on your Facebook that likes it. And our goal is to hit 500 followers so we can grow this page even more and grow this podcast. So we appreciate everybody. Be sure to follow us on everything. We update that as much as absolutely possible with your latest sports news, not just clips from the podcast, but sports news, breaking news from all across the sports world. So be sure to follow us on all our social media.
Yeah, guys, definitely follow us. Like I said, it helps if you share or comment. We see, too, monthly status reports from Facebook, so we can see how many people it's reaching. So each time you share that, and then one of your friends shares that, I mean, it just helps expand and get it out there. It's all about algorithms, and that's what we're trying to hit. So, really appreciate the support so far.
Yeah, I think right now we're sitting, 86,000 to 90,000 people we have reached with our
I like
Facebook
Rich.
page alone.
I like that.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, just in the past month, and really like 4 or 5 posts is mainly what's hit that. So that tells you. I mean, we have posts going out daily, but it's always that next post. I mean,
all it takes is one.
it's weird. Yep, it's weird
And
how it works.
I mean, that's our goal here. We're trying to, again, we're not trying to be a regional podcast. We love everybody that's here because you guys are the people that's local. They're listening to us day in and day out. You guys are the ones helping us build this foundation, but we want to be bigger than that. That's the goal. That's what we're striving for. So just every little bit helps.
Yeah.
But anyway, before we go any farther after social media, we also have the Bowl Mania. It is out there right now. I think last I checked, we got 12 people are already in that. I will reshare the link on all our social medias and get that out there. Be sure to join that and be sure to like and follow our page. If you do finish first in that, you will get an exclusive Tyler's Talking Sports t-shirt. One of one. You'll be the only one with it. We'll get your size. We'll get everything for you. It'll have our logo on it, and I'm also planning on putting Bowl Mania champ. So you'll be the only one with that shirt. So be sure to follow our page, and get in there and pick your bowls. See if you can.
They have till what, the 15th on that? Is that right?
Yeah, they have till the 15th. 16th is when bowl season starts.
Yeah, so you have till December 15th if you're listening today.
Has a Friday.
This coming Friday. Yep.
All right, man. Ready to kick it off with the big thing here?
Let's get into it. The title of our episode, the $700 million deal. Shohei Ohtani to the Dodgers.
To the Dodgers.
I was reading this. $700 million is a lot of money. But if you split them, you have 2 Hall of Famers, and that's the truth.
That's true.
He could go in as pitching. He could go in as hitting. This contract's, as we was talking earlier, it's the largest contract in baseball history. Yep. I mean, $700 million is a little bit of money to be only 29 years old, not even 30, and you already got to sign the contract for the rest. Generational wealth is what I saw. Josh Perry comment. So thank you, Josh, on our Instagram page. That's definitely generational wealth. If you can't spend that over the next couple of generations with $700 million, then what the heck? What's wrong with you? But yeah, it's the largest in history. Only player close to this deal. Do you have any guesses? It's not in baseball.
Would be it have to be a soccer player.
Correct.
I don't think I don't think it's Messi's deal. If it's not Messi, it has to be Ronaldo, Cristiano Ronaldo.
So you think Ronaldo?
Yeah, I think
you had it right. You had Messi.
Is it Messi's
it's
deal?
Messi. Yep, $673 million when he signed with FC Barcelona.
Woo.
Yeah, $673 million. So he's still got it. That's insane. I mean, $700 million for 10 years.
Isn't this the biggest domestic United States contract though?
Yes,
sure
absolutely. Yes. Yeah, this is the largest contract ever.
Yeah.
So Ohtani, I'll break it down for you. If you want a little bit of weekly stats. So per week, he's making $1,346,153 or $5,833,000 per calendar month.
Wow.
Per game. Are you ready?
Yep.
$432,000 per game.
That's nice.
Almost $500,000 over the course of the season, each game. So each time you see Ohtani out there, just remember, probably during that series that ended, he made $100K.
Nice.
Just let that sink in. Hess, do you know that, I chose the Dodgers in our previous podcast and everything. I picked the Dodgers to pick Ohtani. But a team we didn't talk about that I saw offered them?
Who was that?
That was the Athletics, the A's. Did you hear about the contract they offered?
What they offered?
They offered
they did
$1 a day for the next 700 years. I don't know why in the world he didn't take that. I don't know why in the world.
While you're speaking about that, $1 a day for 700. Okay. He did defer it. Ohtani did. It was his contract. He wanted to defer that money, which that's why a lot of people were saying he didn't want the money. He just wanted to go to where he could win World Series titles, the team that he felt like he was the most comfortable with, he would fit the best with, and they could build around him. And the Dodgers wanted him to front load this contract. They wanted to go ahead and get this money paid to him and get it over with. But Ohtani said the only way he would sign is if they deferred it.
That's insane.
And he said the reason he wanted to defer his idea was he wanted to lower his competitive balance tax number and give the Dodgers more freedom to spend on the team around him. With that being said, apparently Ohtani is also helping them try to bring in Yoshiyama Yamamoto into LA because they play with each other in Japan, and that's one of his best friends. So he's trying to do that. And there's nothing came out yet about the full contract details other than the $700 million, but there is speculation that he deferred, and where they're saying it's unprecedented deferrals. There's also things saying that he will only make $10 million this year and only $10 million for the next 10 years. But he'll get that contract after he retires. He'll start getting the bulk of that money. So I know people are, you had that big breakdown of how much he's making a game, but right now he's not even making what Ronald Acuna is making per game. If with his deferrals
right now,
yeah.
Yeah, if it comes out to be true.
Well, right now, he said it is unprecedented deferrals, and he's making anywhere from $5 to $10 million per year.
I mean, that's still not bad to play baseball.
But it's just crazy that he decided to say, "Hey, I'll take $5 million a year."
He wants. Well, it's like what we talked about, previous pods, and what he's always talked about. He wants to build the team around him. Mm-hmm. He wants them to have the money to build the team. So he's not in it for the money. Obviously, that proves it again right there. We've heard Ohtani say he's not in it for the money.
That was his quote. He said
that comes out to be true.
He said the deferral. He quoted and said the deferrals were primary about allowing the Dodgers to be successful on the field because above all else, all he cares about is winning. So Ohtani did something here. He signed I think in a way, $700 million. He took that that's great. But I think in a way, I mean, this dude just wants to win. He just wants to play baseball and win World Series. And I think he's comfortable.
We knew the number was going to be high. I mean, other previous contracts in baseball, we'll just get a rundown real quick. Mike Trout, $426.5 million was the second highest. Aaron Judge last year, he broke a big record, $360 million for 9 years. Everybody blew that out of proportion. It was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe they wasted that much money. Manny Machado, Padres, $350 million, and Francisco Lindor, $341 million. So that's like your top 5 contracts. So Ohtani again blows this out of the water. He is 29 years old, so that's a little bit concerning to me.
And another thing, you're talking about being 29. There's no opt-outs in this contract. No trade. He can't be traded. He cannot opt out as a player and say, I don't want to play here anymore. There is no trade clause. Like, Ohtani is a Dodger for 10 years, no matter what happens. No matter if he gets hurt, nothing.
Okay. Now let's say he gets hurt. Is he still guaranteed that money?
It's where he deferred it. He would get it after the bulk of the contract will come after he's done.
So even if he did get hurt, that's what I'm asking. Like, I'm curious what's in the contract. If there's if he gets, Tommy John surgery blows up to be way worse than it was expected. Is there any I think rescinding of the contract or rescinding the money, or are they going to, alter the contract rather? So I'm sure there's always a loophole there. So we'll see. We'll have to pay attention and see what comes out on that contract.
And then I think now Bobby Bellina, you'll no longer have the Bobby Bellina day because the $1.7 million he gets every year is no longer important. It's looking like Ohtani's going to get for the next 70 years.
$10 million.
Ohtani be paid. So
that's insane.
Crazy deal.
Yeah. Man. Yeah, I mean, broke baseball record, broke sports records. We've talked about Ohtani. He's definitely a Hall of Famer. I do agree with that statement. One thing you put on here was the Dodgers are now the favorites to win the World Series. I mean, how could you not place them? You got Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, Shohei Ohtani now.
They're
stacked, top to bottom. They're plus 600 right now. Ohtani actually improves the Dodgers' chances of making the postseason 2024 run. They was already at 97%. They now bump up to 99%. So they have a 99% chance to make the playoffs again, which they've made the playoffs for the past 10 years.
Yeah.
But they never have. They've only got one World Series out of that. But,
and I'll go as far as say this too here. Like, Dodgers should make the playoffs. I mean, absolutely. And now if they go out and get like a Blake Snell, or they go get Yamamoto, or they go get any of these other big players, man,
they're sitting pretty.
But if I'm Dave Roberts, I gotta win because they've already been speculation if he was in the hot seat last year. Now you got the greatest player in the world on your team, and you're probably going to bring more talent in. If the Dodgers don't at least make it to the World Series, I think Dave Roberts is out next year.
I think you're right. You're spending this much money on your lineup, even if he defers, you have way too many caliber all-stars. Like, you got. Yeah, it's the best players in the world, like you said.
The Dodgers did that too with Freddie's contract. He deferred him too, so they're actually paying roughly $1 billion between him and.
So what we're hoping happened here if you're not a Dodgers fan, if you're Yankees fan like me, if you're a Braves fan like Hess, you hope that the Dodgers, sure they're going to win a couple World Series. I see that happen. I don't think that it's inevitable at this point. I mean,
They should.
they should, but let's say they win a couple World Series. We're hoping then in 10 to 15 years they're so god awful and they can't afford anything that they're in so much debt because of these couple players. We can actually pull out some World Series. So that's what we're hoping for if you're not a Dodgers fan. Dodgers actually have a 32.4% chance to win the World Series next year.
Wow.
That's where that plus 600 comes. So, yeah, over 30% with Ohtani now.
Who's
if you're into sports betting,
who's the rest of the favorites there? Who we got the rest of the favorites?
Rest of favorites in this list, in this order, as of right now, we got the Atlanta Braves at number 2, rightfully so. They've done very well in the offseason with some trades. They trade with the Mariners there, with Kelenic. Is that how you say his last name?
Jared Kelenic.
Kelenic. Sorry, Andrew. But yeah, Atlanta Braves plus 650. New York Yankees, my boys, plus 900.
Hey,
after signing Soto.
Y'all get that pitching. Y'all fix that pitching. Y'all's gonna move up. It won't be 900.
Yeah, it will move up. I think we're going to see the Yankees. The Yankees actually are meeting tomorrow with Yamamoto, so we'll see what happens with that.
Hey, speaking of that,
Cashman said he's spinning. He don't care. So
do you see where they said they're not going to use Tanaka or Hideki Matsui? So that's pretty cool. They're not going to use them.
They're not going to use their influence. Yeah,
they're feeling confident.
They're just going to say that they saved that number for 2 years. I mean, you got to do what you got to do. Salesman's tactics. If I was in that room, I would have brought everybody I knew that was a Japanese American player that played in the Yankees organization and just have them talk to them because, Yankees are great at fielding that. They really are. You can't say they're not. But again, Giants are in hot on this one still. Everybody's sleeping on the Giants. You mentioned the Dodgers earlier. Dodgers are still very hot too for Yamamoto. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. I do think he's out on the Mets. I don't think the Mets are going to pursue it as much as we thought. Fun fact: Mets never pursued Ohtani.
Yep, I just don't think that was. I think they're really. I feel like they're confident.
They got burnt last year. That's what it was.
And I think they're also confident in that. I think they feel like they're going to get Yamamoto. I feel like they're confident in that because they said Cohen. So you all are meeting him in New York tomorrow. The Mets flew to Japan, so I feel like they got the leverage there. Before while we're talking about the Mets, I did see before we went live or started recording this episode, the Mets are in talks with the Dodgers, the Brewers, and I think the Red Sox for a Pete Alonso trade.
That's smart. Yeah,
if the Dodgers get Pete Alonso,
oh my god! Well, why they don't need Pete though? They got Freddie.
I don't know what you do with him because you paid $700 million for essentially a DH for 1 year. And you got Freddie at first. You got Max Muncy as your. I don't know what they do because I don't know what the Dodgers do because Max Muncy was
Will
their
Smith
DH.
catcher.
Will Smith catcher. I'm not a fan of the polar bear. I think he's overrated, but big bat.
Overrated too.
Big bat. I'm not a Gator fan.
Big name. If he goes to the Brewers, that'd be a good fit for him.
It's a perfect fit for him.
Yeah, I'd see him to go to the Brewers.
Let me make sure
I don't know who they're going to get off the Brewers, really, truly. But it's the Mets.
The Brewers are thinking about trade. They're trading about everybody. They're thinking about trading Corbin Burns.
Yeah, they're clean house.
Yelich. They're thinking about trading their number one prospect and one more. So the Brewers are actually clean house. And Corbin Burns is on the Dodgers list as well. And they get him. Woo.
Dodgers, my gosh.
I'm done, man. The Dodgers are killing me.
Well, last year everybody projected them to win the World Series, and they didn't. So, and they couldn't win it with, Mookie Betts and Freeman and all the guys you just mentioned. So, hang in there. Ohtani, let's just be honest. He's coming back off an injury. He's not pitching this year, so you don't have to worry about them there. So he's really just going to be a DH, like you said. So, I don't know how much he actually helps them this year. And I know that's a bold take early. The guy's 29, like I said, so that he's at that injury-prone state, like 29, 30, 31. Honestly, I think the Dodgers, I'm going to go ahead and say this, I think they get burned on this deal in the long run.
I don't know if they get completely burned on the deal.
Let me back up. Look at the Angels with Trout. They've gotten burned on Trout.
Yes and no. Lately, yes, because of his injuries, but if you go back to when he first signed that 10-year deal, he hit over 300 and made the All-Star game.
One playoff appearance.
One player, just as well as I do in Major League Baseball. One player can't make it. Trout's been over there with other than when they brought Pujols in at the end of his career.
Right.
He didn't. Trout's never had nobody. Like, you put Trout in Philadelphia, you put Trout on the Braves.
Other than the greatest baseball player to ever play.
Yeah. But again, that's how, outside of Ohtani and Trout.
Yeah. He had a couple guys there that were decent.
the one year that they were actually kind of competitive, they had Dallas Keuchel, and then they had Brandon Marsh, they had Trout, and then they had a Pujols at first. That year
Yeah.
they were kind of competitive. But I mean, do you think you take Trout, you take that bat and get him somewhere where he isn't having to sacrifice everything that he's got? You put him on the Yankees, the Phillies, the Braves, the
Oh, I
Dodgers.
love it. I love it.
Put him in Houston. I mean, you put him on one of these teams that are already established. Trout, man. I mean, absolutely just crazy.
Yeah, I would. Yeah, I would like that a lot. Actually, fun fact: the Yankees had him in a trade, but they did a trade. I can't remember who it was for at that time. I have to go back and look, but it was in the draft, and they traded up, and they actually missed out on Trout, but they had Trout. Like that was going to be their guy. So Yankees could have had him. But anyway, so back to our odds. After you get past the Yankees, you got the Houston Astro turds, and then the Texas Rangers at plus 1,000 for both of those.
Yeah.
I agree with that take. I think the Rangers, depending on what they do with pitching, I mean, they are using Jordan Montgomery as trade bait. Made a couple trades here and there. They did sign Kershaw. Don't really get that, but it is what it is. He's just in that 1 year top deal stuff now, due to his age. So I see what the Texas is doing there. I think we do see Texas make a run again next year. I think they're solid enough. I don't think it was a 1 year fluke. Like I think they'll be back in the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you there. I think it's kind of interesting too. You got two National League teams sitting at the top for the best odds, and then it's American League at the yin yang. So, and I think a lot of this depends on the Rangers.
Well, that's truly what the National League is Dodgers and Braves.
And I want to throw this out there. I think I'm going to throw some money on the Kansas City Royals, and I want you to hear me out here. Will Smith.
Yeah, all right. Do you smoke some before you put in the pot?
Will Smith was our closer when we won the World Series. He left us.
The actor. Wow, that's crazy.
No, the white Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
He left
that race.
Left us. Went to the Houston Astros. They won the World Series.
Okay.
He left the Astros.
Based off one player, guys.
He left the Astros and went to the Rangers this year, and the Rangers won the World Series.
Uh-oh.
Kansas City? And now he just signed a 1 year, $30 million deal with the Royals. So
1 year, $30 million. Nice. I'm getting paid.
Yeah. Or no, sorry, 13 million. Sorry, I didn't mean 30.
Oh,
13,
okay.
13.
I was about to say, sheesh.
He's still making more than Ronald Acuna.
That's insane. Yeah, maybe. I don't like that take at all, but hey, you stick with it, buddy.
Hey, Bobby Witt.
I heard the Athletics going to win.
Bobby Witt Jr. Bobby Witt Jr. is on that team. They always got a good young, and they got the young boy from Tennessee High played at Tech, played at Virginia Tech. What's his name?
Shortstop?
No, first baseman.
Oh.
Hold on, I'll get you that.
I know who you're talking about. He hit really good with him.
Yes.
Yeah, he signed last year, right? Or year before last?
Yes.
Last year.
Yes, he got drafted.
He was in their farm system, so he got pulled up.
Yeah, they got him.
Gotcha.
So I mean, the Royals got some young talent. Watch out, guys.
If you're in sports betting, guys, don't listen to that take. It's these teams here that we just talked about. That's your hottest ones. Injuries happen though. So
I mentioned the Orioles last year.
You did mention the Orioles. I'll give you that one. I'm surprised they're off this list, honestly.
I think they're sitting right below. I think they're sitting like at 6.
Okay, yeah, they should be on the list, in my opinion.
The Orioles need a frontline ace.
Yeah, they gotta have a big pitcher.
Gavin Cross,
the closer.
Gavin Cross.
Yes. Cross.
Yeah,
gotcha.
From Tennessee High.
He played first.
Yeah, he's first baseman and right field.
Oh. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So another local guy. They got him listed as an outfielder. He was the number 9 pick in last year's draft.
Yeah, I knew he hit really well at Tech.
Yes.
I remember that.
Mm-hmm.
I remember them talking about that in the local news and stuff. So we'll keep track on him. We'll also keep track of Rangers guy. So,
Evan Carter.
Anybody? Yeah, thank you. Couldn't think of his name.
You're good.
But yeah, we'll keep track of them all. On here on Tyler's Talking Sports. That's what we do. But yeah, I like these odds. I agree with these odds. I do think it'll come down to one of these teams. Pray to God it's the Yankees this year. I need it. I need it, man.
I mean,
I need it.
I think it's gonna be really cool to see Ohtani in the playoffs. But in a way, I look back at Mike Trout, man. He's sitting there and the Angels, and I mean, I hope Ron Washington gets them competitive. But you got two American League West teams sitting here with the best odds at the Astros and the Rangers.
They'll have Urshela right back. He should be healthy. Yeah, still biggest thing that's going to hurt the Angels is pitching.
Yeah.
That's what hurt them this year. They had the hitters, but they didn't have the pitching. And if you notice too, the Angels always start off really hot. Like about 60 games in, they're usually first or second in that division, then they just die.
There was a lot of speculation going into this winter meetings that Trout was going to be traded, and then they came out and said, no, we're not trading him.
Right.
Do you think if the wheels just continue to fall off of it and the Angels are just cellar dwellers and not doing anything?
You have to.
Do you trade him in All-Star break?
You have to. You have to. It's not working.
I mean, he can't do it by himself, so trade him, get prospects, and build that team.
You got to build the team. If he's not, he can't do it by himself. You can't do it by yourself in any team.
I think
you have to build a team.
Ohtani loves baseball. Granted, and the Angels could have offered him very close to what the Dodgers did.
Yeah.
He wanted to go somewhere he knew he could win. He looked at that roster with Mike Trout on it.
Anaheim knew they were out. They took his mural down like 2 minutes after he announced.
Yeah.
Like it was coming down.
They were one of the last ones that talked to his representation from what I heard. But
sucks for ticket sales. I'll tell you that.
But here's the thing: he made $12 million is what he made the Angels last year in revenue.
He made them $12 million.
Yes, just stadium revenue.
Jeez, not counting everything else. Wow, wow.
He made the Yankees some money too when he sold his jersey.
The Big Apple, yeah, when he was up there. That was fun.
Here's another thing before we get off the Ohtani thing. The Angels are never going to outlive this down. They had the greatest player we have ever seen in our generation.
Two,
and
really.
And now he's playing next door. He didn't leave your city.
50 miles away, yep.
I mean, man. Wow.
Typical Dodgers.
I mean, it would be like Aaron Judge signing with the Mets.
Mets or heading down to Boston, yeah.
Yeah. That's just crazy.
Yeah, that'd be terrible.
But do you think, did the Dodgers win the World Series?
I don't think the Yankees do either. I think it's somebody like last year. Yeah, I think this big name game's out. I really do. I think that era is kind of over. I mean, you see it in NBA, it's kind of over. I think it's kind of ending too in baseball, but we'll see.
A lot of big names, a lot of big personalities out there.
A lot of big names, yeah, a lot of egos, not playing team ball, playing eyeball. I think that plays a factor. You don't know what goes on behind the scenes.
I'll say this, based off what I've known, just following Freddie Freeman. There's no better locker room. There's no better teammate in baseball than Freddie Freeman.
Oh, I don't doubt it. That guy's awesome.
Ohtani, from what I hear about him, he sounds like he's just loves baseball.
That's Aaron Judge has. That's what I try to tell you.
And I think those two will work well together. And Mookie Betts seems like another guy that just loves baseball. Like, I feel like the Dodgers have those big names, but they have the characters and the emotions. I think it'll work well. But Dave Roberts has to win. I can't stress that enough. They have got to win.
Let me get closer to baseball season, and then I'll give you my updated odds. But right now, I do not think the Dodgers win the World Series. I think that's too easy. Sports betting never goes that way. It's never the favorite.
Right.
So
that's why you put the money on the Royals.
The real question is, do I buy a Soto jersey, even though I don't like the guy?
Oh, God, better not.
That's the real question. I think I'll go Volpe. No. I'm going Volpe this year.
Oh, God. Let me tell you what
Mr. Gold Glover.
You need to go Joe DiMaggio.
Okay.
Or go get you a Hall of Fame jersey of Derek Jeter.
I could.
Get you a 2.
He was decent.
He was all right.
He was the captain, but according to Mr. Hess, that doesn't matter. So
I mean, it matters with the Yankees. It doesn't matter with anybody else.
Exactly, it matters with the Yankees. That's all that matters.
That's not all that matters.
That's all that matters.
Okay.
World Series champ.
All right, we had a $700 million deal. We've talked about it. Baseball is
30 minutes.
Baseball is
I could talk this deal all night.
Baseball's getting crazy. They're saying Yamamoto just reported it's looking like he's going to get anywhere from $300 to $400 million. So we got more money coming out of the Major League Baseball. But let's move down to the people who are making more money to play a sport than they would when they make it to the pros. Let's talk about our Heisman Trophy winner. And I think me and you both called this. Congratulations to LSU quarterback Jaden Daniels, your 2023 Heisman Trophy winner.
Yeah. Round of applause there, man.
Yes, great job, Jaden
Round of applause. Yeah, great season. If we look back at Jaden Daniels, where he started, started at Arizona State, had a really good 2019 year campaign. That year he actually beat, I believe it was Herbert with Oregon when they was ranked 6th. That was his biggest win. You flash forward to 2020 and 2021. It was absolutely horrid seasons. Had some recruiting drama while he's at Arizona State. A lot of stuff came out about his family. Had some family deaths there in that time too. So he didn't really have great seasons. Like pretty well lackluster, words of Hess. So turns the season around 2022. Other than the Tennessee beatdown, I just had to throw that one in there. He did have 6 touchdowns last year against Florida. This guy's the Gator killer. The senior quarterback, again, he won over Oregon, like you said. So 2023, he comes out balling, beat out Michael Penix, who we also had talked about a lot. Michael Penix Jr. for Washington, in case y'all didn't know. And then Ohio State wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. So we had all 4 of those guys at the top of our list. I think a couple weeks back, Hess and I both agreed Jaden Daniels was the Heisman frontrunner. And then, too, if you listen back to a couple episodes, what really set this off for him was the Pac-12 championship game that really solidified his chances of getting that Heisman. So hats off again to Jaden Daniels. He was the nation's leading passer in nearly all the major metrics, and also one of only 2 quarterbacks to rush for over 1,000 yards during 2023.
I mean, what Jaden Daniels did, it was, I think a lot of people overlooked it because LSU was 9-3.
Mm-hmm.
That kid was tearing it up. And if you go back to Arizona State, Herm Edwards was the head coach there. And then when he left or whatever, that's when the recruitment stuff kind of came out. And I seen the video of the Arizona State players cleaning out his locker when he announced he was entering the transfer portal, saying he sucks anyway. Let's clean out his locker. I hope every one of them are eating crow right now because that dude just won the Heisman Trophy and was probably the best player Arizona State has had since I don't even know. But
long time.
I mean, I watched the Heisman presentation yesterday, and I want to say ESPN did a great job interviewing not only the coaches, but interviewing the parents and getting that emotion from those kids and the family and how much it means to win that trophy. And I love Jaden Daniels' speech when he got up there. He was very humble about it, but he looked at those 3 other guys there and said, I can't wait to play with you on Sunday. And I love that demeanor. I think that's another reason why he was so successful. And his dad was talking too. His dad didn't want to play quarterback. His dad wanted him to be a wide receiver or a skill position player. And Jaden looked at him and said, I'm going to be a quarterback. And he went out there and he did it. And here he is, a Heisman Trophy winner, and his draft stock has went through the roof this year. But I want to ask
first round.
I feel like me and you might have the same one here, but what do you think as far as Jaden Daniels this year? Which game was his Heisman moment?
I think when he dominated Florida.
Yes.
I really do. He went, if that was a home game, home field advantage, that helps. But he ran for 2 touchdowns on the ground in that game, 17 for 26, 372 yards. Ended up beating the dog crap out of him, 52-35. Finished this game with a 99.0 QBR. So I think, and then the next game, I think they played Georgia State, and he done the same thing pretty much. His other 400-yard game. He did it pretty much all season, but that would be the moment that I think it really solidified. He did against SEC opponent, really kicked butt. So there was a couple games there too. He had like consecutive 4 or 5 touchdown games.
That's my moment too, because that is the first time in college football history a quarterback threw for over 350 and rushed for over 250. Like, that's
insane.
Absolutely incredible game that he had. And that game, he was actually not supposed to play. He was in concussion protocol all week, in clear concussion protocol. He didn't get to practice or anything. So he was coming in just ready to play, and that's just incredible thing for him. And you were talking about how they finished there. As far as first place votes went in the Heisman, Jaden Daniels got 503 of the first place votes. Penix got 292 of those votes. So he kind of finished second with the first place votes, and then it followed by Bo Nix, Marvin Harrison Jr., and then finishing out 5th with 8 first-place votes was Jordan Travis. Jaden Daniels had a season, man. I mean, that season, I think he went over the stats, 3,812 passing yards, 40 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions. Like, holy crap. In the SEC.
Insane.
If LSU would have had just a little bit of a defense, we might be talking about a different team in this playoff 4.
Yeah, they were coming, maybe preseason rank, they were top 5, I think, weren't they?
Yeah.
I think they were way up there.
They were maybe 4th or something like that. I mean, they were.
Yeah, I think they were top 5. Yeah. They was up there with like Texas A&M. Texas A&M's always up there. But yeah, finished season 9-3. They're heading to play Wisconsin in the ReLeQuest Bowl on January 1st. Mm-hmm. Daniels is still in the tournament for this game. All of your Heisman candidates are still undetermined. It is undetermined too what Marvin Harrison Jr. does. So we will be keeping updates on that. Is he going to come back? Is he going to try to win a title with Ohio State, since they will be getting a new quarterback? Since what's his face?
Kyle McCord.
Kyle McCord. Yes, thank you.
Yep.
Since he is transferring in the transfer portal.
I
So
did
we'll
read
see what happens there.
I was reading on Kyle McCord. He's visiting Nebraska tomorrow. Yep.
Interesting. Okay, Nebraska started looking pretty good. They looked like Nebraska of old there the second half of the season. So maybe they're turning that program around.
Matt Rule is doing something. You know, I did not realize. I watched the 30 for
Matt Rule. I forgot he was there.
I watched the 30 for 30 last night after that Heisman Trophy thing. It was talking about the 97 season, about how Peyton was the Heisman front runner. He came back for his senior year. He was a lock. And they just went through like the original. They had no current interviews. Like it was nothing current. It was just strictly like it felt like you was watching 1997. And before I get to what I was going to say, they said where Peyton didn't win it, Charles Woodson won it, which was the first and only defensive player to ever win the Heisman. They said that the Heisman committee never had so many death threats or felt so harmed than they did after Peyton Manning didn't win it because Tennessee fans, they called him for weeks and weeks. And the committee was like, I've never seen so many people get so mad about an individual award, which just goes back to the passion of the Vols fans.
Passion.
But fun fact about that Heisman, I know we're talking about the current one. Peyton, the game that Charles Woodson won the Heisman on, they played Ohio State, and back then it wasn't the last game of the year. It was like the second to last game of the year. It was on national television, and Charles Woodson had over 100 yards receiving, a touchdown. He had 2 interceptions, a pick six, and he had 197 yards punt return and a touchdown. That was on national television. That same day, the Vols were playing Vandy, and it wasn't on national television, but Peyton had a terrible game based off what he normally does. He only had 129 yards and 2 touchdowns against Vandy and 1 interception. So that moment, because of the way
what solidified it,
the way the TV was back then, everybody seen Charles Woodson like, this dude's playing both sides of the ball and everything. And Randy Moss finished 4th that year.
That's insane.
In the Heisman voting, they had one game on national television. It was the MAC championship against Toledo. But he had 90 receptions, 1,500 yards, and I think it was like 30 touchdown receptions that year.
So good.
But nobody's seen it because he was playing at Marshall. I thought that was just absolutely crazy. And the reason he didn't stay at
I think that I sent you that like thing on ESPN, like it was like the top 10 Heisman classes. Yeah. That 97 class was up there on my list.
And then Ryan Leaf.
Yeah. That class was insane.
But
yeah. Shout out to 98 Balls after that. You know, they got revenge the next year.
Oh, but what I was going to say, speaking of Nebraska, that's what got me thinking about it. You all played the Vols played Nebraska in the Orange Bowl that year. You all lost 42-17. If you all would have won the Orange Bowl based off how the Rose Bowl went with Michigan winning, you would have shared the national title with Michigan in 97 because back then you could share national titles. So y'all would have actually technically won back to back. Yep.
Man, could have been like Georgia.
Yep. Back to back.
Can't be like Georgia, though. Can't all be like Georgia. That Orange Bowl is like a particular bowl for these squads, ain't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where Georgia's playing this year, right? That's where we played last year. Just letting you know that, in case you didn't know. One thing you mentioned there a minute ago, I want to go back to that Heisman race, then we'll get off this here in a second. But you mentioned Jordan Travis finished 5th in the rankings.
Mm-hmm.
Where's the outrage in that? Their team finished 5th. He finished 5th. I mean, is there some type of, controversy over that, or is that where he deserved to be?
I'm going to play devil's advocate here. Jordan Travis, the committee said the reason the Florida State couldn't make the playoff was because Jordan Travis was out. Does that not make him
fifth greatest player in the league?
Does that not make him the most valuable player in the country? If he's single-handedly the reason they didn't make the playoff,
that's what I'm saying. He should be top 3 at least.
I'm with you there. I'm with you, but
ridiculous
is what it is. Another fun fact about this: 5 out of the last 7 Heisman winners have been transfers.
Yeah, I saw that. Daniels, like we mentioned, started out at Arizona State.
Yep.
Who was? Do you know who was the last one by any chance? I was curious.
The last non-transfer?
Heisman transfer.
The last 5 have been transfers.
Yeah, who won it last year?
Last year's winner?
Mm-hmm.
That was oh my God, I had it. Was it Bryce Young?
Was it Bryce Young for Bama?
Hold on. Sorry, I had it. But yeah, the last 5 have been transfers.
I think it was Bryce Young. I think you're right.
No. Yes.
No, it's a.
So, yeah, it was Bryce Young. He was the one. Okay. He was one that hadn't transferred. Joe Burrow was a transfer.
Was the one that hadn't transferred. Okay, that's what I thought. Okay.
Baker Mayfield transferred. Kyler Murray transferred.
Joe Burrow transferred. Yeah.
Caleb Williams transferred.
Mm-hmm.
The only ones who haven't transferred in the last little bit was Derrick Henry, Bryce Young,
Alabama.
Marcus Mariota,
Old Mariota, old Oregon days.
and
Yeah.
Johnny Manziel.
Okay. Yeah, so last year, okay. Yeah, Bama. Okay. I was curious who the last one was. So
transfer. Did Bryce Young transfer?
I have a question for you, Hess.
Go ahead, hit me with it.
Does this prove Kelly can coach a player into a Heisman?
I mean, Brian Kelly did everything he needed to do with Jaden Daniels, but he needs to get a defensive coordinator.
I agree. He needs a DC. Again, I think if you put Jaden Daniels with a defensive team, of some sort, just anything better than what they had, I think they're 10-2 or 11-1 in this scenario. I do think they beat Florida State too at the beginning of the year. If you replay that game now, I really do. Mm-hmm. Even with the defense they got, just Jaden Daniels really, really turned it on.
Oh, absolutely.
And since Florida State lost their MVP, so yeah.
All right.
I like that take, man. I like that take. Good stuff there, Jaden Daniels.
All right, while we're talking about transfers, the crazy transfer portal, man. This thing is absolutely wild right now.
It's getting out of hand. It's still at over 3,000 players.
Yes.
It's impossible to keep up with because it's constant news left and right. You're hearing, such and such player. You not only have the transfer portal, you also have the 2024 upcoming class picks. So you got to try to keep up with your commits as well. I know Colorado just landed a huge lineman, 5-star, number one offensive tackle in the league, or upcoming. Tennessee was his home favorite for that, and then Colorado swooped him. So appreciate that,
Dion.
Yeah, appreciate that, Dion. Y'all still suck. So, yeah.
Wow.
Transfer portal.
Wow, Dion, you still suck.
I told you. Go back to episode 2, I think it was. At that time, Colorado had lost 1 game, maybe, or 2 games, something like that. And I told you they would not make the playoffs. They finished 4-8. Just saying.
Speaking of Colorado, Travis Hunter won the most versatile player in the country.
That's very well earned. Very well deserved. I'm not saying I do think Colorado makes a bowl game this year, but they're not. I don't know why in the world he went to Colorado over Tennessee. Come on, man. What are you doing? Would have been a direct starter on offense. I'm not bitter or anything. I'm not a little bit.
Could be a direct starter in Colorado too.
No, yeah, but I mean SEC play or Colorado. Which one are you going to choose?
Well, he's going to the Big 12.
I mean, if it goes to SEC, I mean, we've coached linemen in the NFL left and right. I mean, when's the last time Colorado put somebody through the NFL online?
No, that's a good question. But they didn't have Dion.
That's true, but I'm just saying it makes no sense, man.
Hey, it's money, man. Dion, did you see that Colorado?
We offered money too.
Hey, did you see that Colorado is the number one revenue in Colorado football? Is the number one revenue?
Outrageous now.
They surpassed Tennessee and Alabama this year for the most money earned in a football season. They earned over $117 million.
Their tickets went to $300 a ticket or something, man.
No, that was their first 3 games. After that, you could have got a ticket to Colorado for $5. Dion brought in over $117 million. That's why that guy's there.
Wow. Well, yeah, he's making money.
He's getting all the
prime time, baby. He must be hard to live with. I saw where his girlfriend left him too. So he must be.
Did you know that his?
I saw too. Some players are coming out with some stuff too, like when he's going through the exits on the team.
Yeah, some issues with Dion.
I do. He told him, "There's the door." That's what he told him. So,
come work.
Yeah, just pointing the finger, pointing. There's the door. Hey, come on, man.
Hey, I'll take that. You be disciplined. That's maybe Hypo could take notes on
It's a difference between discipline and arrogance. It's a little bit arrogant. Yeah. You need to listen to some of those players.
I listened to the whole thing.
I could see it. So he's very.
So when Colorado makes the playoff next year and plays you all in Knoxville and wins,
this is great.
I'm just saying they're bringing back Travis Hunter. They're bringing back which will be the number 1 quarterback in the country next year, Shedeur Sanders.
I agree.
And then they'll bring it in. They're saying they're going to get the boy out of Purdue, the wide receiver.
Who they got on defense?
Well, they got Travis Hunter.
Who else?
They have the number 2 linebacker, the number 3 DB coming in, and then they're trying to get that defensive guy from there's a guy from Texas A&M, a defensive end. They said they was trying to get him.
Ceiling 7, basement 5.
Well, who's that defensive end at Texas A&M? They said that he's thinking about he's visiting Colorado.
Norwell or whatever?
Yeah,
no.
they say he's visiting Colorado.
Walter Nolan, sorry.
Yeah, that guy. He's visiting Colorado, and Colorado's already offered him $20 million per.
Tennessee had him here at the house. I swear to God, if that's another, I'm flying out to Colorado. Me and Andrew May's going to fly out.
Right.
I've had it with Colorado.
What is your issue with Colorado?
All the hype, it drove me insane last year. The media. It's the media.
It was 3 games.
I know, and I told you they sucked. I told you they weren't going to make the playoffs, and what happened?
It was 3 games.
They didn't make the playoffs.
It was 3
I know,
games.
it is freaking annoying. It was like Taylor Swift in Kansas City. That's what it felt like. It'll make you hate an organization because they just shove it down your throat.
All right. I'm glad you said that because that's why I hate the Yankees.
Ah!
Because when y'all won the World Series and had all that hype, it was Yankee, Yankee, Yankee. Even when y'all are shit, it's Yankee, Yankee, Yankee. And then
it gets annoying.
And that's where my arrogance comes, or my frustration with Tennessee.
I'm saying media, though, man.
I'm saying that's where my frustration with Tennessee comes. Y'all had that big year last year. The first time
I'm saying media.
First time in 20
I'm not saying fans. Fans don't bother me.
First time in 20 years. Y'all had the biggest year y'all had last year, and all the media was like, Tennessee, Tennessee. It's the same thing with Texas now. It's Texas back. It's Texas back. Let's go out and play football. Let's go out and play the game. Let's see. But
it ain't as hyped up in media for Tennessee.
But it was last year when we all had hit the Booker.
It was the first big year in 20 years, so naturally you're going to hear more about it because we're actually giving
that was Colorado's
first for the money.
That was Colorado's biggest start in 30
but dude,
years.
It was blown out of proportion. It was everywhere,
and it got them $17 million, $117 million.
And it's all about the money. I get it at the end of the day, but I'm just saying, like, stop. He's been there 1 year.
What if it was the other way around?
4 games. I think they have a better season. I'm not saying they don't. I think they go up. I'm saying the win ceiling is 7.
What if it was the other way around?
Basement's 5.
What if Dion would have been the head coach at Tennessee and y'all would have had this same thing?
I love him.
All right, then. All right.
He's at the balls, baby.
But anyway,
I love it.
But what I was going to say before we got off the rails there, Dion.
Off the rails. We need like a media thing that says that or something.
True. We talked about Colorado women's basketball. Remember that? They beat LSU.
Yes.
You know who plays on that team?
No, I don't keep up with women's.
Dion's daughter.
Of course. My God.
Yep.
How many kids this dude got?
A lot.
Yeah. Use a condom. All right.
Wow.
I'm just kidding. That's generational talent.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, I don't care, man. I do not like the guy. I liked him. I liked watching him play, but he's super, super arrogant.
It works.
And I know it works for him. It works for organization. It makes the money. It is who he is. It's worked out great. I'm not saying anything bad like that. I'm just saying, like, me as a fan of watching the game and everything, I don't like it that much. I'd rather have a cutthroat. Give me Kirby Smart. Give me Nick Saban. Like, I'd rather go play for one of those guys. Josh Heupel, because he don't know what discipline is. So.
Anyway, we were talking about the transfer portal before this thing got all about Colorado. Dylan Gabriel transfers to the Ducks. What impacts does this mean, and what does this mean for the Ducks? Did they miss a step? Did they miss Bo Nix now?
No, they bounce right back where they're at right now. I think we'll see Oregon next year in the top 10 easily.
I mean, I think
easily.
Great coach.
Dylan Gabriel's very, very good.
Right.
He had a couple bad games. Who don't? But he'll do even better there with Dan Lannon and that offense. Oregon's going to be good next year. Very good.
I agree.
A big one here. I don't know if you had this on your list of transfers, but Kentucky landed Brock Vandergriff.
Yeah, I've seen that.
He was y'all's former 40 top 40 recruit from Georgia. I think you said he was one of the highest recruits y'all ever had, right?
Yeah, but he was behind Justin Fields as far as quarterbacks. He was a 5-star when we got him.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see what he does there. Obviously, I want him to do terrible, but he'll probably tear it up. My luck. So Louisville actually landed a quarterback already. Tyler Shaw from Texas Tech will be going there to replace Jack Plummer. So he'll be now the quarterback for Louisville. I think that's a good pickup for Louisville. I was looking into him a little bit. I think Louisville, will be tough in the ACC. They got a really good defense, so I think we'll see them next year. A big one that I wanted to bring up that I was pretty mad about to all the Vols fans out there, Tyler Barron entered the transfer portal again. He done this last year. He experimented to try to see if he can get some money. I don't know what the deal is with Barron. There's been a lot of talks. NC State has been looking at him. We'll see if he might come back. He might just use this as to get some money or something. I don't know what he's doing, but he's out, apparently. Walter Nolan, we mentioned him earlier. He was actually in Tennessee this past weekend. Not only was he in Neyland, Juice Wells was also there, the great wide receiver from South Carolina.
From where? From where?
South Carolina.
Oh, okay. I just want to hear you say it again.
Any particular reason?
No, I just know that's Shane Beamer.
Yeah, Shane Beamer's losing like all of his players. And then Holden stays
Well,
from
Juice is a graduate, so he can transfer.
right, but Shane's go look up how many players they're losing left and right. But who isn't right now? Look at Texas A&M. Holden stays also in the house. This past weekend, he's the tight end from Notre Dame. We got to have a tight end.
I thought y'all was getting a UConn tight end.
Nope, he's out.
Where'd he go?
I don't know where he went, but he backed out. He was supposed to come to Tennessee this weekend, and he said he wasn't coming, so he's out.
I thought I seen he signed with y'all. I thought
Justin Jolly.
I thought old Wes put it on Facebook on Twitter.
No.
Yeah, I thought Justin Jolly. Yeah, I thought he put Justin Jolly signed with y'all on Friday.
Nope.
That's going to really be bad if he did and you didn't know it.
That would be terrible, wouldn't it? He said he wasn't coming this weekend. It was the last I saw on Twitter. Or X, sorry.
It's X, get it right? Gosh.
Yeah, we need Walter Nolan. If we get Walter Nolan, my God, their defensive. We're already deep at defensive. The defensive line. We should have the deepest defensive line next year.
We'll see.
Yeah, look it up.
The deepest for Tennessee, probably.
Deepest in the SEC.
There's not a deeper defensive line in the SEC than Alabama.
We're right there with them.
Negative.
Okay, look it up. Look it up.
Hey, I don't want to get on this Tennessee bandwagon with you.
I'm not. You're looking up a stat right now. I'm telling you that he did not go there this weekend, and he did not sign with Tennessee. Last I checked, I'm the Tennessee fan. I think I would know.
I'm trying to figure out.
If I'm wrong, I'm going to end the podcast right here.
All right.
Yeah, I'm going to go hang out with my boy, Colorado.
You need to go hang. You and Dion get along.
Probably would.
Oh, Who's Ethan Davis?
Ethan Davis, that's the tight end right now.
Oh, they say he's coming back next year. That's why Justin Jolly decided not to visit.
Makes sense.
But he is still
and
playing.
Castles. Does Castles graduate?
Says potential targets for Nico next year: Juice Wells, Squirrel White, Chas Nimron, Caleb Webb, Ethan Davis, Justin Jolly, Jonathan Echols, and then running backs Dylan Sampson, Cameron Sheldon, and Peyton Lewis.
Ooh, sounds pretty good.
Peyton Lewis is overhyped.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know about Justin Jolly. I don't know. It does say that he was. I'm saying that he was going to visit, but I haven't seen that he was not visiting. But I haven't seen that he did visit.
Put it on his Twitter. He wasn't visiting. He was backing out. So, sucks. We've had a rough week this week in recruiting and transfer portal. But, like I said, hopefully we'll land Wales. That'd be huge. We need a wide receiver.
Juice Wells?
One name you didn't mention there was Thornton. Is he not coming back next year? Dante Thornton?
No.
Really?
He's transferring to USC.
Really?
Yeah. Y'all lost him a couple weeks ago.
He bounced around everywhere. All right.
Oh no! I was thinking about Boo.
Oh, Boo Carter?
Yeah. Or the one that broke his
no way.
The one that broke his leg or whatever.
No, Boo Carter's coming in. He's a freshman.
No,
he'll be a freshman.
Who's your wide receiver that broke the leg this year?
Brew McCoy.
Yeah, he's transferring to USC.
What?
Yeah.
Oh man, I ain't seen that either.
Yeah, that was.
Yes, you might as well become a Tennessee Closet fan. I swear.
Well,
you know the team better than I do.
Andrew sends me all this stuff.
I did not know Brew McCoy was leaving to USC. That is a huge letdown. Why is he going back to West Coast? Family. He's going back family. His whole family's from there.
Yep. You got to hate him now. You got to hate him like toe to toe.
No.
Yep.
He's not going to the same division. He can go play USC. I hope he does really well. He's a cool guy.
Just because they go to the same place. So Juice Wells, you got to hate Juice Wells because he transferred within their division.
Nope.
Yep.
He's coming to my team. I don't have to hate him.
Yeah, you did.
Anybody that leaves my team goes like Georgia or Bama, I have to hate, man. That is what it is. It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Army-Navy game. Let's move on. What a game. You said the atmosphere was incredible?
Absolutely.
Did you fly up there?
Yeah, I did. I was there.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's insane.
It was. Why do I have to pay to read articles? Sorry, I was getting aggravated. I hate that. Now everything is like, oh, you got to pay $3 to read 3 sentences.
Yeah, it's like you got to pay for the newspaper ad. Yep.
So annoying. But yeah, the Army-Navy game, it was absolutely phenomenal. From the time game day was there, the build up for that game and everything. I watched every bit of that game yesterday, and it was absolutely phenomenal. I enjoyed
Yeah,
everything about
this
it.
game was in Massachusetts. Told y'all some history there. The Boston Tea Party, 250 years ago.
Yep.
USA, USA. T-Wing identifies into the modern age. First, it was Army outgaining Navy 54-0. Passing yards in the air. After the first 30 minutes, they took a 10-0 commanding lead. Before backup quarterback Ty Lavitae, is that how you say his name?
Tyler Levikai? Yes, that was right.
Yeah, he totaled 179 second half passing yards, and led him down to a game tying drive. I saw that. He was getting ready to punch it in. 4th and 1. They tried to punch it QB sneak under center. Try to punch it in, but they did not get it. So they ended up losing 17-11. There was a safety at the end of that game.
Yeah, they ran it
Just
out
ran out of the back of the end zone, which is awesome in case people bet it because that put them over the over.
Yeah.
So I put them over 27.5, I think it was.
Mhm.
So, so it's a win for America on that one too. On that, not much passing in this game. A lot of running.
Oh,
I
yeah.
saw a lot. 179 second half pass yards, very impressive. But a lot of run game. That QB draw play that Navy was running was working pretty well.
Yeah, Navy runs the T-wing, so they don't pass too much.
Yeah, not a lot of passing, which I didn't expect a lot of passing. Both you and I picked Army in this one. Very close on our score too. We said it's a close game. I think they punched in there. I do think they go. I mean, obviously they're going to go for 2.
Oh yeah.
I think they get it, and I think we see OT
That'd be
in
awesome.
this game.
I mean,
That would have been
I
awesome.
want to go back to like game day on this though. They had
Yeah.
I didn't realize that Lee Corso coached at Navy. He was an assistant coach, and I didn't realize either that Bill Belichick's dad, Steve Belichick, was also an assistant coach on Navy. And that's where Bill Belichick got all of his coaching prowess and where he got all his knowledge was from his dad and Lee Corso. He went with Navy to all their games. He was at the Naval Academy with them. That's where he learned the discipline and everything like that. But they showed some footage of Lee Corso back in the day and them throwing him in the bay up there. It's a tradition they do. But just Bill Belichick, it was the first time he's actually been able to talk to Corso in apparently many years. They've had a chance to sit down and talk. And they showed that footage though of Corso back in 1967 when he was at Navy. And Corso started crying on game day. And it was just you could tell how much it meant to him to be a coach at Navy and what it meant to be there, and those people honor him. And then Bill Belichick, he was just so excited. Like, you don't see that excitement out of Belichick. You just see that really mute-looking face he's got, but he was so excited to talk to Lee Corso, to talk about his dad and how much that game, the Army-Navy game, meant. And I didn't realize, I knew this was a big game. I just didn't realize what it meant, not only to college football, but what it means to these guys and Army, Navy, and Air Force. And just for them to be able to do their daily routine and then come and play a game like this and be able to put on a good show for the fans and be able to be competitive is just absolutely phenomenal. And for these guys, it was like Pat McAfee and them said, these guys are going to go serve this country. They're going to protect this country so we can continue to enjoy stuff like this. And I don't know, they had one little slot on there. They did a story on one of the Army cadets that died in the Mediterranean in a helicopter training session, and how this Army-Navy game was everything to him and his family. And it was just, I don't know, the emotion, between, as much as those two schools wanted to beat one another, they're all one. And it was just really cool to see. We seen all these rivalry games a couple weeks ago with the fighting and the trash talk. Granted, these guys trash talk, but it was in a friendly way because at the end of the day, they're brothers in arms and they're here to protect this country. It was just, it's crazy to see him play a game that really, in the grand scheme of things, means absolutely nothing because they're going to go out and fight a bigger battle to keep us safe every night. And when you watch that game knowing that, it's like, I don't know, it's just it's a different way to watch a football game. You look at it differently. Like, at quarterback, he may have had a bad game, but he's getting ready to go serve this country. It's crazy to me to think that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, this game's always close, always very competitive, like you said. It's America's game.
Yeah.
They always save this for the last game of the season, regular season.
It used to be, as another thing, it used to be the day after Thanksgiving. It used to be the Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Yeah. And again, too, guys, they've moved this game for it'll be the next 4 years now. It'll be rotating around. I can't remember who I said next year. Philly, I think maybe gets it next year.
This is the first time it was in Gillette Stadium. And this was the 4th most expensive ticket ever in Gillette Stadium history. It was Taylor Swift, Tom Brady's return, and then the Army Navy game.
It was packed. I was watching while I
Mhm.
was eating
Yeah.
dinner. Yeah, it was a packed game for sure.
It was great, dude.
It was on pretty much every TV, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah. Congrats. I mean, and again, thank you to all of our service men and women out there that do what you do. I know this game is just a football game, but we love the football, but we do appreciate everything y'all do to protect this country and serve us. So me and Cass can do this
Absolutely.
podcast. We can enjoy football, enjoy all these other sports we talk about every week. So again, to any service people that do listen to this, we do greatly appreciate your service now and in the past. We appreciate everything. But yeah,
Absolutely.
Army Navy game, I got to go to it one time. I don't know if I can get tickets because of all the cadets. I don't know how that works, but I would love to just go to that one time.
Yeah, all the cadets are in the lower level.
Mhm.
It looked like,
Yeah.
and then I think you could probably sit on the upper sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be in DC in I think 2 years, maybe. Be a little bit closer.
Yeah, might have to try to swing that one just because I think it's a bucket list type game.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah,
And
absolutely.
and with Army winning this game because they upset Air Force, they actually won the Armed Forces trophy. So Air Force has to fly that trophy over to Army. So Army keep that trophy because they beat both military academies this year.
That's awesome.
And
that's surprising too. Air Force is good.
Yeah, and up until next year, Army actually leaves the Independent and goes to the American, so that'll be cool. And then Army, up until I think 2 years ago, they had lost the last 17 matchups against Navy.
Oh wow,
Yeah,
really?
Yeah, Navy had dominated.
It was that one-sided.
Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, man, great game. I enjoy it. I hate college. That's it. That's all of our last regular season college football. We're getting ready to start talking about bowl games. They start Saturday, so that's going to be fun to talk about on Thursday's episode. I've enjoyed talking college football regular season. I've enjoyed talking, building up to the Heisman, building up to these bowl games. So it's going to be fun to dissect these bowl games that are coming up. So I'm excited about that. But we do have some more football to talk about. We got the Week 14 in the NFL. Actually, looked like it was going to be a very sluggish type week of NFL, but it's turned into some very interesting football games this week.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Broncos Chargers. What ended up being the final there? I know it's 16-0.
The final score in the Broncos Chargers, I believe it was 24-7 Broncos. Justin Herbert
dominated.
Justin Herbert got hurt in that game. I can't remember what the injury exactly was, but he was out from the second quarter on, and they had to play their backup quarterback who had never threw a pass in the NFL. His last name was Easton Stick was his name. He was 13 for 24 for 179 yards. Russell Wilson played pretty good in this game. He was 21 for 33, 1 interception, 2 touchdowns. Javonte Williams scored his first touchdown since he tore his ACL. This is his first touchdown since 2022 in December. Or no, 2021 in December, so he hadn't scored all year. Cortland Sutton had one of the greatest catches I've seen all year. Threw it up in the air. Defender had him pulled back. He caught it in the pocket of his hand, and they called pass interference, but he called it for a touchdown. But another big win here, especially with some of this other stuff that's been going on in the NFL. Broncos improved to 7-6. This drops the Chargers to 5-8 and probably out of the playoff hunt. And I would say that Staley's about to be let go there, just with the talent that they got around. They're not putting it out there on the field. You got Khalil Mack, you got Justin Herbert, Keenan Allen, Darwin James, Austin Eckler.
It's not showing up each week.
No.
We've talked about this inconsistency with the Chargers. How they've only made one playoff appearance during his stay there. So, yeah, I think Staley's out big time.
An updated playoff ranking because I mentioned it. Right now you have the Baltimore Ravens at 10-3 at 1. Dolphins at 10-9-3 at 2. They play tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. The Chiefs lost. So we're going to talk about that. But the Bills, they're at the 3 seed. They decreased to 8-5. Jacksonville 8-5. Cleveland 8-5. And then the wild card spots, I think it's 8 teams you got. You got the Pittsburgh Steelers at 7-6, the Indianapolis Colts at 7-6, the Houston Texans at 7-6, the Denver Broncos at 7-6, the Cincinnati Bengals at 7-6, and the Buffalo Bills at 7-6.
Jeez.
So it's going to be a just absolute drag out here for this last couple playoff spots between these 7-6 schools. Right now, I think the Steelers do have the tiebreaker over Indianapolis. And they have the tiebreaker over Buffalo and Denver based off win percentage in conference games. And they do have the tiebreaker.
Yeah, they're absolutely terrible.
They do have the tiebreak to eliminate Cincinnati if Pittsburgh can beat Cincinnati head-to-head in their final game.
They won't do it.
But, yeah.
Big win. Got no run game, got no pass game, got no offense.
Big win for the Broncos. They got the Detroit Lions next week, so that'll be interesting to see how that game goes. Detroit been a little streaky this year.
Mm-hmm.
But
very.
while we're
I
talking,
think they're beatable.
I think they're beatable. I mean, Justin Fields.
Sean Payton doing an excellent job on that defense.
I think he got Vance Joseph and was like, "Listen, we're not that 70-point game." Since then, Denver's had the best defense in the league. So
That's what I'm saying. He's
it's
turned it around
and
180.
the thing
Yeah.
is really, I mean, you take away the turnovers last week, which was probably Russ's worst game. Denver should have won last week, so they should be 8-5. But
That's impressive.
Russ is not
after starting what 0-4, 0-5,
1-5.
1-5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But I mean, we'll mention it.
Yeah.
We don't got it on our list, but a team I've been high on, but now I'm starting to see kind of, I guess, what you've been talking about over the last couple of weeks. The Detroit Lions lost to the Bears today, 28-13. Justin Fields is quickly becoming my favorite player outside of anybody on my Broncos. I love watching the kid play. I don't think he needs to be in Chicago. He needs to be in Pittsburgh. He needs to be in Atlanta.
We take him.
Pittsburgh would take today. Justin Fields was 19 for 33 for 223 yards, 1 touchdown, no interceptions, and he also rushed for 58 yards and a touchdown.
He's a dual threat, man. Yeah, he's the full package.
He's making good reads. He's making that second and third read. I mean, he's really came along this year, and the Bears got somebody good there. But I just get rid of him, send him somewhere where he can be a winner. Put him down there in Atlanta. Yeah. Put him down there in Atlanta, and let's get back to the Michael Vick days.
Pittsburgh,
yeah.
He'd be excellent at Pittsburgh.
Hey, modern day Cordell Stewart right there. I'm telling you.
He'd look good.
Yep.
He'd look good out there.
What was the next?
Another game in the same division was Browns and Jags. This one kind of surprised me. Browns playing with old Flacco. If y'all remember Joe, he used to play for the Ravens. He retired. He actually came out of retirement.
Yep.
He's 38 years old. He threw for 311 yards today and 3 touchdowns. Still tearing it up. He had 25 yards at half or something like that. Absolutely throwing dimes out there. Browns improved to 8-5. Jags fall to 8-5. T-Law really struggled out there.
I think he was hurt.
3 interceptions. Yeah, he didn't really show it in his warm-ups and stuff, but he didn't look like the same T-Law I know. They almost came back on this one and won. But hats off to the Browns defense. Brown defense is stout.
It is really stout, dude. It is absolutely
really
stout.
Good. They had I can't remember which corner it is, but he had 2 interceptions.
That would have been hold on, I'll get it.
2 interceptions, 2 tackles for loss. Don't know what else he finished up with. That was just in the first half.
Would that have been Greg Newsome?
Yeah.
Maybe. Greg Newsome.
I think so, maybe.
Or Denzel. So where's he at?
I don't think it's Newsome. I think that's right. If he's a corner.
Hold on. They got so many names here. They got their interceptions on this. They got all their sacks and tackles for losses. And Njoku had a tackle. He must be on special teams. But yeah, I mean that defense they got is absolutely.
That defense is very good. For them to move to 8-5 too is huge.
That puts them second in the division behind the Ravens, correct?
Yep, correct. Yeah, they just secured second place because the Steelers, lost to some very hard opponents these past couple weeks. The Patriots and the Cardinals. We can't even beat those 2 squads with Trubisky, so that tells you how bad he is. I
know we got another game on here, but we're talking about your division. Let's talk about what's going on with Cincinnati here. Jake Browning. In case y'all don't know who Jake Browning is, he was a former 5-star recruit, the highest rated recruit ever in Washington football history. He was the all-state quarterback in the state of California. Went to Washington first freshman year, led him to the playoff game, which was the last time Washington made it to the playoffs. And then the next year, I think he had some injuries and stuff like that.
He had shoulder surgery.
He had shoulder surgery and all that, and that kind of hurt him as far as draft stock. He's been on 23 different transactions, but he's been on the Cincinnati Bengals practice squad his entire career and was actually about to hang it up, and then got the call to step in for Joe Burrow and has done nothing but just absolutely amaze people. Cincinnati won a game today they shouldn't have won against the Indianapolis Colts. They won 34-14, and Jake Browning was 18 for 24 with consecutive 200. He had 2 back-to-back games over 250 yards passing. He had 275 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and he also had 1 rushing touchdown. It's crazy to think, we all think about the Bengals, Joe Burrow, like the reason they made it to the playoffs was Joe Burrow. But I think we need to really start looking at Zach Taylor, that head coach, and what he's doing here. He's put another quarterback in, and they're not missing a beat. Actually,
they're not missing a beat.
They're looking better. They're looking better right now than they was when they had Burrow in there.
I told you I would leave Browning starting.
Man.
Till he proves he can't.
Yeah, I mean Burrow's out the rest of the year, so Jake, this is his team. So
this is his time to shine. That's what he's doing.
Earn that money for next year.
Yeah, I mean Pittsburgh.
Yeah. Hey,
Be nice.
you keep looking at all these quarterbacks. Get Joe Flacco. Go get Flacco.
I just want somebody. No, God, no. God, no.
Hey, playoff Joe, man. Hey,
I can't say nothing bad there.
MVP and a Super Bowl champ.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Flacco's got nothing to hold his head down. It was pretty funny, they was talking about him in the game today. He's still getting used to names and stuff like that because he just came in, last week, I think it was. So this is just the second week back. He's taking off his helmet. He's still got the line like that people get, from the practice squad day. So he's still getting his helmet fitted really well. It's just kind of funny seeing that. But, he said when he introduced himself to players and stuff, they're like, yeah, dude, I played you in Madden when I was like 12.
Yeah.
Because he's playing with 23-year-olds.
I think it's just
so I think that'd be pretty cool. Playing Madden, and now you're playing with Joe Flacco.
Could you imagine being Joe Flacco though? This dude was sitting on his couch for more than half this season, and they got a phone call. I was like, "Hey Joe, you come out for a tryout. We want to see what you got."
This shows he could still probably win another 3 or 4 years. Probably he probably could have went till 40.
I mean, this is what he done today. I mean, he's playing better than at least. I can name at least 6 quarterbacks he's playing better than right now.
Oh, absolutely. I can name one right now.
But, I mean, that's just crazy to think that this dude was sitting on his couch and then that just shows the type of person, quarterback that he is. And I think...
He makes it look easy, man. Just calm, present.
He does. It's just crazy just to jump in and just grab
defenses,
it. But let's talk about another game here. Just went final, and it's to it. I've said it all year, and it has not been because I'm not a fan of this team. But the Kansas City Chiefs are not the Kansas City Chiefs. Something's wrong.
Tyreek Hill, losing Tyreek Hill was huge. I don't care what they say.
You think it's biting them more this year than it did last year?
Absolutely. Look I got Hill's stats on here. I know we're going to go over Titans-Dolphins for tomorrow night. But, look what Hill's doing this year. He is absolutely tearing it up. Mahomes doesn't have anybody really outside of Kelsey. He's got a couple good receivers, but it's not there. I watched this game. It's just not the same team. I was very, very happy to see the Bills pull a win off, a much needed win. Finally, they held on. I thought for sure they was going to blow it. They fumbled there in the fourth. Typical Bills. They choked it up. About every fourth quarter game, they had Philly beat. Bills is still that team, I think, this year. Somehow, if they can get into the playoffs, watch out. Because they got to get that offense figured out. Josh Allen, love Josh Allen. Had some great throws today. I don't know if you watched that game or not, but he looked like Josh Allen of old. No turnovers.
The Bills that's what's killed them all year is turnovers. That's been their big thing. But back to this game, back to Kansas City on this. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say Tyreek Hill's the reason because last year they made it to the Super Bowl without him. I think their biggest thing is losing Eric Bellamy as their offensive coordinator, him going to Washington. I mean, look what Sam Howell's doing in Washington. He's leading the league in passing yards. Well, was till C.J. Stroud, but I think he passed him this week.
He did.
But Sam Howell's leading. I mean, Sam Howell is leading the league in passing yards, and Patrick Mahomes not even talked about as one of the top quarterbacks as far as statistics. And another thing, I was just watching a video here. Mahomes lost it on the sidelines. He went off on the refs. They had to pull him away. I think they ended up throwing a personal foul on him. They called it offsides on the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes charged the ref. The team had to pull him back. He called him an effing moron to get his effing AWS out of his head, out of his AWS. And they kept going back and forth. Mahomes, I've never seen him be that aggressive, but he was going, and like the whole team was having to hold him back to keep him from going after the ref. And then once they got him under control, Andy Reid grabbed him, got him under control. Mahomes took his helmet and threw it as hard as he could against the bench, and it broke. So I've not seen Mahomes show this. There's frustrations there in Kansas City right now. And I don't know if it's the loss of Eric Bellamy, that comfort that Mahomes had, but even Travis Kelce, he's not even. Is Taylor Swift the problem?
I think so.
I mean,
I think we've seen the media hype.
That's
what
They have no run game.
It always does.
They have no run game. Travis Kelce led them in receiving yards in this game with 83 yards. But he didn't score a touchdown. Mahomes only had 271 yards passing. That's great numbers, but that's not what we're used to with Kansas City.
Right. And I think too many outside distractions. You mentioned T Swift. That's an outside distraction. Look at Colorado. Too many outside distractions. Yeah. You're there to play football. Play football.
Yeah. And
stop worrying about, your COVID vaccine, Pfizer commercials, and your Taylor Swift, your podcast. I do not like Travis Kelce, in case you're wondering. Shout out to Krista. I just cannot stand that team, man. I don't know what it is. I love Andy Reid. Great coach.
Absolutely. I just think it's crazy, though. I mean, this team, they didn't lose a single thing from last year. And they look completely. The only thing they lost was their offensive coordinator.
I'm telling you, that hurt, but I do think losing Hill hurt because he's.
Well,
He's a
I
weapon,
will say
man.
Rashee Rice is starting to come around for them. The guy they drafted at SMU. I think it was SMU is where they got him from. He had 7 receptions for 72 yards and a touchdown. I think that's 4 consecutive games with touchdowns. So he's starting to come, but now their defense is kind of struggling a little bit. They're all
Reed's such a good coach. I mean, this team's gonna make it in.
Oh yeah,
Reed's too good of a
but
coach not to.
them losing this game,
That's huge.
Denver's now 1 game back of the division, and I want to go back and correct.
Wouldn't that be something?
I don't even want to talk about it. If I want to correct you though, apparently Josh Allen did throw 1 interception. You said no turnovers. He had 1 pick. It might have been at the end of the game or something like that. So
okay, I must have missed
no
it.
big deal there. But yeah, the Bills won this game 20-17. Things are not right in Kansas City right now, guys. Not sure really what's going on, but as a Broncos fan, I love seeing it. But as an NFL fan, I'm kind of scratching my head because this team should be the same Super Bowl contender as
they
it
should
was
be
last
dominating.
year. Yep. Absolutely. Let's move on to a game. I think it just kicked off a couple minutes ago. As far as for me and you, it is 8:32, so that game should have kicked off, and that would be the Eagles and Cowboys. Cowboys are up 7-0 right now. This game is played in Dallas. Who do you got in this one? We won't talk too much about, but who you got in this one, bud?
Fly, Eagles, fly. Give me the Eagles for a bounce back. The Eagles looked terrible last game. Honestly, Dak Prescott has actually looked really well.
Why'd you say that?
Because I hope he chokes.
He's going.
We're in December now.
It's Dallas December, guys.
Dallas December. In case y'all don't know, go back and listen to the pod.
They almost lost last week on a Thursday night, but they didn't because that was right before December. But now this is where the wheels fall off of it. They don't do good.
I'm putting it on. I'm putting it on my TV here. So
yeah,
just saw Jason Witten pop up. That only Cowboy I really ever liked.
You know what's crazy?
Local boy.
Yeah, I'll talk more about that another time. I got some information about Jason Witten and his local stuff. Let's just say Heath Miller's a better local athlete than Jason Witten.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, got some inside
trauma. I heard some stuff. I heard some stuff when I was down there. I mean, don't get me wrong. The dude has donated some money to his former school, but that's about it.
Hey, we used to bag some groceries for his dad at the old Food City. So, But who do you got in this one? Who'd you pick?
I didn't pick a pick, but I will never pick. I don't care how good they are. I'm not picking Dallas.
I know.
The wheels are going to fall off. Go on, Jalen, do your thing, and go Georgia Bulldogs that are playing on that team. Sick them.
There's too many to count.
Let's go get
too many to count.
My favorite Eagle,
Jason Kelce.
I love Jason Kelce. He's great. DeAndre Swift, though. But all the Bulldogs on there, go get that W in Dallas tonight and make them Dallas Cowboy fans go home crying.
I like Jason Kelce. Just don't like his brother.
I'm trying to be open-minded a little bit more instead of just absolutely just trying to hate on people. But there's just something. Maybe I don't like Travis Kelce.
I'm not hating. I'm just saying I don't like him.
Right. I get that. But, hey, while we're talking about the NFL here, man, right now, who do you think the MVP of the league is?
MVP, Brock Purdy. Like I told you, ever since he's rode that tractor, man, that man came play football.
Brock Purdy.
Get out there, cut some corn, baby. Give me Brock Purdy.
I like the Brock Purdy take there. I also I hate that he got hurt today in an absolutely horrendous game. The Texans losing that game to the Jets 30-6. CJ Stroud went out with a concussion. That game was 0-0 at halftime. So the second half was a completely different game. But second
half was Zach Wilson.
I'm gonna go different here just because I want Menu to be different. And I'm not a fan of this guy. I think he's a glorified running back. But my MVP right now in the league is Lamar Jackson. He doesn't seem like he can do too much wrong right now for the Eagles.
I think they had a touchdown return for a win today.
Yeah, they had their punt return for touchdown to win an
punt
overtime.
Return. Yep, that's what it was. Okay.
Yep, walk-off win for him. It was a 76-yard punt return by Ty.
And a home run. Wow, that's crazy.
By Tylen Wallace. No relation to Connor Wallace.
That's awesome. Okay. Yeah. That's pretty cool. Now, I like that take. Lamar's definitely having a good year. Mm-hmm. He's not gotten hurt yet. We'll see if he gets hurt next week. It's about that time. So if he does get hurt next week, I'm canceling the pod. I don't want people to come after me.
If the Browns continue to win, though, and Joe Flacco continue, I'm putting Joe Flacco for MVP.
Shut up.
Give me Joe Flacco. Okay. Give him a second MVP.
Rookie of the year. Who you got?
That's easy, man. CJ Stroud.
Yeah, CJ Stroud, hands down. Not even close.
Tearing it up.
I looked at his odds like Monday, last Monday, and it was like plus 30,000. Yeah.
Oh, CJ Stroud. Love it.
Easily, man.
Yeah.
Easily. Tomorrow night, Monday Night Football. Giants, Packers. Who you got?
Packers, easy. Jordan Love. Packers playing
Packers. Good. Yeah, Jordan Love's looking really good. Loving what I'm seeing out of Jordan Love. Yeah. Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go.
That's going to be my new thing.
Go Pack, go.
Go Pack, go!
All right, man. Who else? We got another Monday night game. You got another one. Who's the other one there?
Titans Dolphins. Yep, Titans Dolphins. Who you got? You gonna go with your boy Levis?
Give me the Dolphins by a field goal.
Yeah, I like the Dolphins at this one, man. Two is playing good.
Two is playing good, but I think Derrick Henry's gonna have a big game.
Yeah, Derrick Henry rushed for over 100 yards. I think it was last week, if I'm not mistaken. He had a 100-yard rushing game again. Very impressive for his age as a running back, what he's doing still.
If Levis can continue just to play and not turn the football over, the Titans are going to be in a lot of the game. They got a good defense. There's something missing. There's something off with them too. But I think it's the Dolphins by field goal tomorrow night.
Dolphins by field goal. I like that. I think difference maker in this one again is going to be Tyreek Hill. He's on pace to make history this year. He's on pace to actually get over 2,000 yards receiving. Any idea who the leading receiver is ahead of him, or potentially going to be ahead of him?
As far as
any ideas,
who would be?
Who has the most leading passing yards or receiving yards
right now
in NFL history?
Oh, NFL history.
Mm-hmm.
Like altogether.
Overall. Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I did know that. Is it Randy?
For a single season.
Oh, single season.
For a single
Randy
season.
Moss.
Single
Randy
season.
Moss.
Nope. Calvin Johnson.
Megatron.
Old Calvo Johnson.
I like that. All right.
Ocho Cinco. But yeah, he had 1964 reception yards or receiving yards, and then currently right now Tyreek Hill has 1324.
Gosh, is he gonna be the first 2,000-yard receiver in NFL history?
Yes, he'd be the first.
Yeah.
1964 is the highest in a single season.
That's what I'm saying. Will he be the first? Will he be the first one to do it?
Be the very first.
Do you think he'll do it?
Yeah.
Gosh.
He's on pace for 2046.
Gosh. What if he comes 1 yard short?
I'd be very upset for him. But he said, this is what I love about it. He manifested it in August. He said, I will break 2,000 yards this season. He manifested
Interesting.
Manifest your goals, folks. It works.
Hey, write them down.
Tomorrow, I will make $10 million. All right.
Yeah.
You heard it here. I manifested
it. What if you do? Anyway, that's it for the NFL guys. Let's move on. Let's jump back into the college world here. Let's talk about a little college basketball, and a huge debut happened today. Bronny James finally made his debut with USC after coming off of a cardiac arrest that he suffered in the offseason. Hate it for him. LeBron James was there. He made the promise that he would be there to watch his son.
Sideline.
But they did lose to Long Beach State, 84-79.
In overtime.
Yep, in OT. Bronny played 17 minutes. They said it was going to ease him into it, so this is expected. 17 minutes, 4 points. He had 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 2 steals, and 1 block, and that block looked like his daddy, the chase down block. He chased down the guy and blocked it, pinned it up against the backboard. Looked just like his daddy out there. It was good to see. I was glad to see Bronny be able to make it back, especially after that scary cardiac arrest incident. So it was good to see for him.
Yeah, he had a cardiac arrest 5 weeks ago, so he's 5 weeks and back on the court.
Yeah.
That's what they said. So that's pretty quick turnaround.
Yes, absolutely.
I know we had a little bit of a debate there with Brian Long, one of our listeners. He said he's going to have 8 points. So just want to tell you, Brian, he had 4.
Half that.
Half. Vols in Illinois.
What a great game.
About time.
What a great game
About
this
time.
one. I missed this one. I picked Illinois to win this.
I did not. I never picked against Vols. Good Vols, baby. First ranked win for the Vols this season. They improved to 7-3. Much needed win for that program. They pulled away in the second half. They were down 2 at the first half. But they pulled away second half, 86-79. Dalton Connect, again, lights out, had 21 points. I think he shot 7 for 14 from the field, if I'm not mistaken. So 50% shooting. But the biggest key difference maker in this game was Vescovi was back. He's been there the whole season, but this was his game. He finally looked like the old Vescovi. He had some stuff going on outside, is what they was talking about, but he was key in the game. He had dimes all over the court. He was everywhere, just playing really, really hard.
Absolutely.
Mentally, hustling. Just love it. Love what I saw on the court. So yeah, I put him as the difference maker in that game.
It was a really good game. I mean, halftime, y'all was only Balls were down by 2. They were down 36-34. Balls, that Rick Barnes defense really shut down Illinois. Yep. Y'all took the advantage in the second half, outscored them 52-43. Can you tell me just for fan purposes here, who led the Vols in assist?
I'm gonna go with old JJJ.
JJJ, who is that?
Josiah Jordan James.
Thank you. I just want to make sure we got there. Yep.
Huh?
Yep, Andrew. Hey, happy Andrew.
Hey, Andrew, yeah. I'm capping again.
Yep. Andrew be happy about that one. All right, man. Vols won a big game. I didn't see that happening. A good win for them.
How dare you?
Hey, I was looking at the trends, man. Analytics got me wrong there. But looking ahead, the Vols do play Georgia Southern, then they play NC State on the 16th. Georgia Southern should be a win. We'll see what happens with NC State. That'll be an interesting game. They are a basketball.
They're not
school.
a basketball school.
They are a basketball school. That's what Steve.
No, they're not.
What Steve Smith said.
Steve Smith is wrong.
You're wrong, Colonel Sanders. Sorry.
You're wrong, Steve Smith.
But yeah, so we'll see what happens there. Illinois, they're going to be a tournament team, so that was a good.
Illinois
That's going to be a good win for y'all. Let's talk about Let's talk about a team here that is making some noise, not only in the football world, but now in the college basketball world, and that's the number 18 James Madison Dukes.
JMU. Duke. Yeah, versus ODU. This was an absolute slobber. 84-69 was the final. When you shoot over 50% from the field, that you should win, obviously. They shot 66% from the field. So 12 for 18 from three. Couldn't miss. No defense on ODU, though. ODU's, I think, it's like 6-5 or something like I don't know. They're
3-6. 3-6.
3-6. Sorry. Whew, had that wrong. Yep. God, Andrew's going to hit me. All right, yeah, so JMU, yeah, they're good. I think they're ranked 18th, right?
18th to 9-0 right now. The rankings will change. I think tomorrow the new AP poll will come out. I want to shout out, though.
I do think,
go ahead.
I'll say this. I do think they're overinflated. If you're telling me they're better than, they're right behind Tennessee, I disagree 100%.
I don't know about that because JMU's loaded with seniors. They beat Michigan State to start the year off, number 4 Michigan State at a time.
Overinflated.
They are loaded with seniors, and this team did make a Sweet 16 run last year. So they made it as far as you all did.
They're top 25. I'll give them that. But I just think 18's a little high. I'd probably put them like 23.
Well, they start out the year ranked 24th, so they just keep winning. You got to move them up.
I get that. Florida State, right?
Huh? Well,
Florida State kept winning, and they didn't move up.
Oh, this is different. We have 64 teams that can make 68 teams that can make this tournament.
And they didn't lose their star MVP.
Right. But speaking of seniors here on that team, I mean, they're loaded. I mean, I think they got 7 seniors on this team. It's the most seniors on any team in college basketball this year, and that speaks volumes. Wow. TJ Binkerstaff was the leading scorer in this game. He had 21 points. He was 9 for 12 from the field. He was 3 for 4 from the free throw line for them. He also had 12 rebounds. 3 of those were offensive. And, I mean, like I said, this game wasn't that close. They were up 20 at halftime. They did pull all the starters in the second half, and the second half ODU outscored them 39-34, but there was no point. I think JMU's a sleeper Cinderella team here. I'm thinking we're talking a deep run by them. No. Loaded with seniors, got a great coach. I would say ODU is definitely a Elite 8 team at worst. Or JMU, sorry, not ODU.
I was about to say.
Yeah. I mean,
yo, that's bold take, Cotton.
Yeah.
I will see. I haven't looked at JMU's schedule. That's going to be a big thing. They play any ranked opponents.
It's conference play now. It's Sun Belt Conference. But you can't say that. I mean, last year you got Florida.
Yeah, I can. I can say that. Sweet 16 at best.
Well, I mean, you got to think, though. Think about all the teams that make it to the Final Four. Florida Atlantic made it last year. Butler's made it to the national. It doesn't matter in college basketball what conference or who you play. It's all about playing basketball, putting it in a hoop.
That's anything.
And this team is loaded with seniors. The most loaded senior team in the country.
We'll see.
You think because they don't play in the SEC, though, that they're not a good basketball team?
No. Oh, my God. Here we go.
That's what you're saying.
Here we go.
That's what you just said. You said, I mean, well, who they play in their conference. That matters. It's what you said.
It does matter. Strength of opponent and stuff does matter. I promise you. Like, have they ran into a Kansas? Have they ran into an Arizona? Somebody like that has a true big man that has the guards. Like, I get their seniors, but can they guard that? Can they play against that? That's where that stuff comes in. So, again, I do think this is a Sweet 16 team. I don't think they make it much farther than that. They might be the Cinderella, but you're saying, they're going to go, I think Sweet 16.
I'm going one more round. I'm going to Elite 8.
Well, that's one more round, so, I mean.
One more round, and then they're going to draw.
I said they deserve to be ranked.
They're going to draw on Arizona, who I don't think gets beat. And I think Arizona could be your first undefeated program. Or since the 1970-something UCLA team. Arizona teams.
Nah. Never happens.
Yeah.
Hasn't happened in 50 years,
Gonzaga did it. Didn't it?
Did it really?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Gonzaga did it.
No, I think they lost one.
Hold on, we'll look.
Is that Mark View, right?
Yeah, Mark Few.
Off the rails again. God, we've been off the
I'm
rails
just
all
telling
night.
you, I believe in JMU. I think this team is. They
I believe that we will win. I believe that we
They
will
were
win.
there last year. I mean, they got experience, and tournament experience pays
No,
off.
no, I'm saying they'll make it there.
You said,
I'm not saying
you
they
said
won't.
because they're in the Sun Belt, they won't make it.
I never said
You
that
said,
directly.
who do they play?
Not directly. I never said that.
Said.
I said, I said, do they play any ranked opponents the rest of the season? You said, no, they're in conference play.
The last undefeated conference.
I said they'll make it Sweet 16.
The last 32-0 team was the 1975-76 Indiana Hoosiers. Before that, UCLA didn't lose for 2 years. And then before that, UCLA didn't lose for 4 years in the 1960s. And then before...
Is that Bob Knight days?
Yes, that was Bob Knight. And then the first team to ever do it was the San Francisco Friars. They won 20. They were 29-0, and then the following year, North Carolina went 32-0 with Dean Smith.
See, 50 years. Well, history can happen, but I just don't see Arizona doing
Arizona's good. Good team. Good team.
Oh, no. Yeah, they're great. But you know how it is. It's always like when you're doing your bracket, you're like, oh, I'm going to pick this number one team. What happens? They lose.
But they do play in the Pac-12.
Oh, here we go.
That's awesome. That's what I said. That's awesome.
Okay, yeah, they do play in the Pac-12. Awesome. You're right. Awesome. They do. Good job. I'm glad you know which conference.
Speaking of Arizona, they did beat Wisconsin 98-73. I just want to throw that out there.
Wisconsin. We both picked Arizona in this one. Wisconsin is no joke, though. They're no joke, even though they got absolutely slaughtered. But they did beat Virginia, and then they beat somebody else big. Who else? Last week, game before this. Tough little schedule. Did they beat Purdue?
Hold on, I'll tell you. Hold on.
I think that is right.
No, Marquette.
Marquette, yeah, that's right. Yeah, Marquette's really
beat Marquette.
Good.
Big Ten's weird, though.
Wildcats are, they remain undefeated, 9-0, right?
You know who's not good in Big Ten basketball? Michigan.
Who?
I don't know.
Let's not get on them. Let's just leave old Blue out of this now, you moron.
I know. Basement dweller.
Daggone roll turds, basement dweller, basement broadcaster.
All right, let's talk about another big game here. Yeah. We had an undefeated school go down. Colorado State went down to St. Mary's, 64.
St. Mary's terrible.
64-61. This is not your normal St. Mary's Gales, guys. This is not that normal.
They're bad this year.
5-5. This was their 5th win of the year. Colorado State, I think they lost this game. I think this was in a tournament. I don't think they were playing at Colorado State.
Correct.
This was in Moby.
Got caught sleeping.
Yeah,
got caught sleeping early. That's all right. Colorado State's a perimeter shooting team. They always are, usually. They already did beat Colorado. They already beat the Buffs. Deion Sanders can't win there either. Colorado State loses this one. Hate to see it, but kind of expect it. It's early.
Yeah.
Going to have it happen a lot. Another game I want to talk about is Kansas, Missouri. Back to the SEC. Jayhawks squeezed by 73-64. Sean East had a good game for Missouri at 21 points. Hunter Dickinson, the center for Kansas, absolute monster. 13 points, 16 boards. I'm telling you, you gotta have that big man. That's the key to college basketball right now.
You know who has a really good big man? JMU.
You know who else has a really good big man?
Kansas.
Purdue and Bama.
Hold on, before you go on to Purdue and Bama, I want to throw out real fast. This was possibly one of the last times that Missouri and Kansas played each other. This is a normal rivalry between the two schools, but Missouri's in the SEC, Kansas in the Big 12. They don't get to play each other much. And I can't remember who it was, but there was some player that wanted his jersey retired, but he didn't want to have it retired until these two schools played each other again. So it was a pretty cool game. Big atmosphere. These two schools hate each other, absolutely despise each other. They were kids waiting over 48 to 72 hours for tickets to this game.
Wow. It was a close game. Closer than I thought.
It was a very good game. But anyway, back to your Bama and Purdue game.
Yeah, I was talking about big man Zach Edey. Sorry. He dominated. Again, 35.7 boards. Mark Sears, the only player that Alabama has. They're lucky this isn't football. He had a good game. He had 35 points. Bama scared Purdue in this one, though. They were up for a little bit. It was back and forth pretty much the whole game. I think we're seeing some different takes from Purdue after we watched them in the Maui. They haven't looked the same.
I think they're experimenting a little bit, though, too.
If you can shut down Zach Edey, you're going to beat that team. But you can't shut a 7-4 down. They did end up winning 92-86. So
don't sleep on.
You got to get Edey in foul trouble.
True. You got to get Edey in foul trouble. But I mean, Edey had 35 points, like you said. But Braden Smith, their sophomore guard, he had 28 points. I mean, they're a little bit more than just Edey, but Edey is the one they run their offense through.
Edey's the key, man. It is key. True big man. Yao Ming 2.0.
While we're talking about basketball, that was what we got for college basketball. College basketball is just starting to go on and on. We're loving what's happening. I'm getting excited about college basketball, especially when we get to conference play. That's when we really see who the real teams are because you start playing the same opponents, home and homes. But anyway, let's move to the professional basketball, the NBA, and they had their first ever in-season tournament championship, the NBA Cup. You said it was going to be Lakers versus Bucks. I said it was going to be Pacers versus Pelicans. We split it 50-50, and we had Lakers versus Pacers. And I watched this game, most of this one, and it was actually a really good game. The Lakers they had the lead, and the Pacers would get close, and the Lakers would pull away. LeBron James ended up being MVP, but Anthony Davis was the reason this game was won by the Lakers. He had 41 points, 20 rebounds, 5 assists, and 4 blocks. Anthony Davis with the cornrows. I wish he'd wear the fro all the time because that's my favorite look for him. Absolutely just dominated that game. LeBron won MVP. I think it was the MVP of the entire tournament is how that worked.
He deserved it.
He played really good. How old is he? 38?
38.
What LeBron's doing is unreal. Anybody hates on LeBron, they don't respect the athlete.
Yeah, don't respect him.
The Lakers, like I said, the Lakers did lead this entire game, and they finished the game off on a 13-0 run to win 115-99. I think it was, or 123 to 109 was the final score. Good job for the NBA. This was pretty cool to watch. Something different. Cool. The Celtics may be your all-time leader in NBA championships, with the Lakers being second. But the Lakers are your only NBA Cup champion. So Lakers fans, you have to hang on so
far. Until we have 2 or 3 more?
Well, there's no more in-season tournaments this year.
That's it.
They'll have one every year.
Oh, I thought it was more than one.
No, I don't think there is. I mean, maybe I'm wrong.
I thought they did the tournament play 60-something games.
That was it.
Throughout the season.
They just did it.
That's not 60-something games. It's 60-something games combined.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
Okay, I was confused on that. I thought we was going to have another one.
No, between all the blocks.
I really liked it. I love the courts and everything. Like, I loved it all.
Some of those courts gave me a headache, but yeah.
Oh, I really liked it. Some of them's hard to see the ball. Yeah. Like, it's like, especially the red court. I mean, it's like the ball's orange.
The Lakers had to change
their
their jersey.
Yeah. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I liked watching the Lakers. I mean, I have liked to watch. I've always kind of been a little bit, don't tell Josh Williams, but I've always kind of liked the Lakers.
I'm telling you who I started liking, Trey Halliburton.
Yeah, that's what I was getting ready to say. That's really the key. I know we talking about Anthony Davis, but keeping Halliburton only to 20 points was the key to winning this game. I think he still finished up with a double-double. I think he had 11 boards or 11 assists.
Tyrese Halliburton finished with a 35 minutes played, 20 points, 11 assists, 1 steal, 1 block.
11 assists, yep.
1 rebound.
Okay. Yeah, he's good.
35 minutes. He played more than anybody. Nope.
Yeah,
Anthony Davis played 41.
Super young. Pacers are good in the East, man. Sleeper in the East for sure.
Absolutely. I like them. I'm liking the Pacers. I'm not lying. I'm kind of watching them a little bit more, and I'm just liking what they're doing. So it's kind of got me excited about the NBA, what they've been doing. But yeah, that's all we got, man. We just went through it all. We've talked sports. We did it. Tyler's talking sports, guys. I hope you all have enjoyed this episode. This has been a good one. We're going to jump into our final thoughts. Guys, what's your final thoughts?
Yeah. Today's Joe Burrow's birthday, so happy 27th to Joe Burrow.
Happy birthday, Joe Burrow. I like that, man. That's a good one. My final thoughts here is Goshi will be a Dodger. That's all I'm going to say. I'm just going to say it. I think Goshi's going to be a Dodger.
Good possibility.
We'll see what happens. Again, guys, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Share our stuff. If you see it, like it, share it, comment, good, bad, ugly. I don't care what it is. We love it. Like Dale Earnhardt said, it's when they stop making noises when you got a problem. As long as you all keep chirping, that's when everything's going good. So keep it up, guys. We appreciate everything. Thank you guys for everything. Hope y'all enjoy this episode. Episode 18 is finished.
Yep. Happy Monday. Have a good one,
guys. See y'all.